identical fractured pavement, the identical precisely groomed bushes, the identical warm Texas glow casting elongated silhouettes over the dead-end circle. It was Plano, a residential area where the most intense excitement typically stemmed from a prep football match or a yapping pup. Nothing in this evening promenade with her small dog Scout suggested any disruption was imminent. Yet the instant she rounded the bend onto her road, she spotted them, a pair of silhouettes positioned rigidly near her garage entrance. Their bearing was keen enough to carve through the tranquility like a blade. She identified them right away. Harold Vance and Cynthia Rowe, each veteran officials on the local HOA committee. Janine sensed her gut twist. She hadn't reached her entryway, and the expressions on their countenances signaled this encounter wouldn't be cordial. "Mrs. Colson," Harold summoned, his tone curt echoing over the serene roadway. "We must discuss that sign in your yard." Janine tightened Scout's lead, yearning to simply proceed onward. "It's an autumn display, Harold, gourds, foliage, utterly harmless." Cynthia advanced, her polished fingertips gripping a notepad firmly. "It's not regarding harmfulness. It breaches the group's holiday ornamentation guidelines, subsection 12, clause 4. You ought to be aware of that already." Janine breathed out deliberately, her tolerance beginning to unravel. "I've resided here a decade. Folks display all sorts from balloon birds to giant holiday figures. You've remained mute on those." "That's unrelated," Harold retorted sharply, gaze constricting. "Yours lacked clearance." For an instant, the trio lingered in the dimming glow, the burden of the dialogue bearing down on Janine. She eyed her entrance, mere steps distant, but the notion of sidestepping them accelerated her heartbeat. "Listen," she stated, her delivery composed. "I'm leaving it up, right there." Harold's mandible locked. "That's not the procedure." He edged nearer, his outline extending over her parking area like an omen. Cynthia's glance wavered, uneasy yet mute, she avoided intervening during strain. Harold relished disputes, and Janine detected the fury flickering across his features, awaiting ignition. Scout yelped once, piercing and anxious, straining the tether. Janine steadied her hold and attempted to advance, her pulse pounding fiercer than she'd concede, but Harold reacted swiftly, obstructing her route with the sort of dominance unrelated to association statutes. "You can't simply depart," he snarled. "I'm entering my residence, Harold, step aside." And then it transpired, rapid, nasty. Harold nudged her arm sufficiently to disrupt her footing, sufficiently to amplify Scout's yaps, sufficiently to propel alarm surging in her torso. Janine stumbled rearward, steadying herself, her tone elevating keen and enraged, "Never lay a finger on me." That cry resonated. It traversed the grass, beyond the foliage, and directly into the ajar pane of the dwelling where Anthony Colson remained seated, mid-conversation with a former Navy SEAL comrade on the line. His companion was midway in a tale when Anthony abruptly lifted a palm, pause, issue at hand. He'd wed Janine for more than 20 years, he recognized her timbre in all its variations, serene, amused, irate, but this transcended ire, this was terror. Anthony shoved his seat rearward, rose, and in 4 extended paces reached the threshold. He didn't fling it ajar, he didn't charge forth. His form glided with the serene exactness of an individual drilled for ages to respond sans frenzy, yet within his ribcage, his ticker had already accelerated. He emerged into the amber radiance of the parking zone, and for the initial occasion, Harold's demeanor wavered. "Any difficulty here?" Anthony's timbre was subdued, resolute, the variety that required no amplification for command. Janine's fingers quivered faintly on the lead. "He pushed me." Anthony's stare fixed on Harold, assessing particulars in a flash, the bald knuckles, the rigid mandible, the erroneous assurance of someone who deemed dominance derived from ranks and edicts. "I'll inquire but once," Anthony declared, his inflection unyielding as rock. "Retreat." And instantly, the atmosphere altered. Locals peering via drapes sensed it, Cynthia sensed it, her clasp on the notepad intensifying. Even Harold sensed it, although his ego anchored him stationary. But Anthony held position too, and this standoff was merely commencing. Yet the instant Anthony appeared outdoors, the district was poised to witness an aspect of him scarce envisioned. The quiet ensuing Anthony's declaration was dense, interrupted solely by Scout's swift yelps and the distant drone of a grass cutter 3 homes away. Harold positioned squarely before Janine, his torso inflated, mandible firm, endeavoring to persuade himself of no intimidation. But the composed heft of Anthony's aura had already tipped the scales. "Don't distort this," Harold uttered, coaxing a chuckle that emerged rough. "Your spouse initiated contact, I merely guarded myself." Janine's orbs expanded. "That's falsehood, you thrust me since I refused to remove a gripping his larynx sign." Anthony's focus remained fixed, he articulated uniformly, yet each syllable resembled boulders plunging into a pond. "I overheard her, I comprehend precisely what transpired. Now clear the path, Cynthia." Who had clutched her notepad akin to armor, ultimately voiced, "Anthony, let's avoid intensifying." Harold merely upheld association protocols, that's his duty. "Duty doesn't grant him license to contact my spouse," Anthony countered. His pitch didn't elevate, but it projected over the turf as if inherent. Harold's complexion heated crimson. "This embodies the issue. Individuals like you assume edicts exempt you. You presume liberty to act freely because what?" Janine interrupted, her timbre quivering yet robust. "Utter it, Harold, complete your thought." Locals were assembling presently, lured by escalating tones. Entryway lamps ignited, drapes fluttered, a youth opposite elevated a device, filming from a vehicle's obscurity. Harold's gaze flitted, grasping the scrutiny had turned adverse. He diminished his volume, though the malice persisted. "This district upholds criteria. Certain among us genuinely prioritize preserving them." Anthony advanced a single pace, narrowing the gap until Harold perforce retreated. "Criteria exclude thrusting a lady in her personal parking area. Criteria exclude coercion. You overstepped." For the debut, Harold's swagger fractured. He peered at Cynthia, anticipating aid, but she appeared disconcerted, lips sealed. She declined endorsing what all observed. "Harold," she murmured, nearly beseeching, "perhaps we ought to issue a formal alert." "Let's not," but Harold ignored. Ego was toxin, gripping his larynx. "Should you contact me, Colson, I'll litigate for battery." Anthony inclined his head gradually. "I require no contact, merely cease harassing my spouse." He pivoted marginally toward Janine, his delivery milder, "Enter, dear, I'll manage." But Janine held firm. Her arm throbbed from thrust, and the wrongness scorched fiercer than alarm. "No, I'm not concealing indoors, not post his deed." Anthony regarded her, and in that succinct exchange lay eras of alliance, of discerning precisely when to unite. He refrained from debate. Opposite, a local whispered to another, "Witness that." He thrust her. Crystal clear. The susurrus amplified. Devices angled skyward, the episode ceased private, it became spectacle. Harold, perceiving belatedly the assembly opposed him, sought to reclaim command, all inflating this unduly. Merely a mix-up. Anthony crossed his limbs, composed yet steadfast. Mix-ups don't inflict welts. Mix-ups don't instill dread in one's parking zone. Cynthia's palm quavered subtly against the notepad. She eyed the surveillance devices, then Harold, "We depart," she breathed. "Unworthy." But Harold demurred. He inclined nearer, timbre subdued for Anthony alone. "You deem your service history elevates you. This isn't combat, you unsettle me not." Anthony's orbs narrowed, yet inflection leveled. "I seek not to unsettle, merely convey, contact my spouse anew, and rue it." No bellows, no erratic motions, just subdued, regulated potency outweighing Harold's full rant. The strain suspended akin to charge in atmosphere, all anticipating Harold's subsequent action. Even Scout hushed, oracles alert, as if discerning solemnity. And then, with ultimate grimace, Harold pivoted sharply. Concluded. "Nay." Cynthia hastened behind, notepad pressed to bosom, her footwear tapping rapidly over concrete. Anthony remained immobile, limbs folded, observing their withdrawal. Janine expelled breath for the first occasion in moments, limbs feeble, yet determination blazing fiercer. "Anthony," she murmured, timbre unstable. The subsequent dawn, the Lone Star orb had scarcely ascended past rooftops when Anthony Colson perched at the galley bench, gazing into a vessel of dark brew. Janine navigated silently about him, her arm tender from the nudge, her thoughts replaying each tick of prior eve. Neither had slumbered soundly. "I remain incredulous he contacted me," Janine voiced, easing into the seat opposite, her timbre subdued, abrasive. "Publicly, as if I merited dismissal. Anthony massaged his mandible, mute initially. He'd endured skirmishes abroad, confronting foes intent on his demise, but the quiver in his partner's voice disturbed deeper than blasts. "He shan't contact you anew," Anthony concluded, his delivery serene, genuine, no theatrics. He required no amplification for conviction. Janine emitted a curt, acrid guffaw. "Precisely, he assumes impunity owing to Harold Vance, HOA chief. Likely arose today assuring himself of my excess." Anthony's device hummed on the surface, a moniker illuminated, Wes Hanlon, a prior Navy comrade. Anthony answered, "Sound, kin." Wes's timbre blended worry and resolve. "Viewed the footage, Anthony." Anthony's clasp firmed on the unit. "Already?" "Someone uploaded to Facebook yesternight, then circulated on X today." "You're ubiquitous," folks enraged, asserting Harold thrust your partner deeming impunity. Janine elevated her gaze, astonished. "Online presently." Anthony activated loudspeaker. Remarks. Wes proffered unreservedly, portion demands Harold abdicate, remainder claims HOA panels wield dominance routinely, this validates. But beyond, folks highlight your composure, professional handling. Surveillance captured all, your poise, no contact till his aggression renewed. Pivotal. Anthony reclined, his perch groaning beneath. Undesired spotlight, yet inescapable. Wes retorted, endure their distortion or seize the account. Anthony terminated, yet retained the phrase, seize the account. He devoted eras in forces where choices signified existence or cessation, where mastery equaled endurance. Now, in a domestic enclave, identical rigor spotlighted abruptly. Janine extended over the bench, palm overlaying his. "We sought not this, Anthony, yet perhaps transcends us." He assented gradually. "Indeed." Precisely then, a rap jarred the entry. Anthony rose, sinews rigid, service instincts roused. He unlatched to Officer Kyle Brennan of Plano PD on the stoop, tablet poised. "Morning, Mr. Colson, Mrs. Colson. Here for your accounts re-yestereve." Janine's heartbeat hastened. "Someone summoned authorities." Anthony motioned entry. Locals, gratified. They convened in parlor, detailing each facet. Janine's delivery faltered occasionally, but Anthony's flowed constant, lucid, precise. Brennan jotted, peering up sporadically. Numerous observers corroborate, footage aids. Proceeding with battery filing versus Mr. Vance. Janine batted lashes, solace and unease blending. Official. Affirmative, Brennan affirmed. Will alert for addendums. Mr. Colson, your moderation commended, escalation possible, yet averted. Anthony offered modest inclination. Duty, safeguard spouse. Not else. The officer departed, but domicile felt not hushed, ether dense with potentials. Janine slumped into settee. Should Harold distort? HOA depict us agitators. Anthony settled adjacent, palm firm on her patella. Counter with verity, not more, not less. Quiet extended twixt them, yet not vacant, vitalized, vibrant, bearing the load of ensuing. Harold Vance perched at his galley ledge that identical morn, clasping a brew vessel untouched. His device quivered ceaselessly, alerts from local forums, missives, even kin voicemail. The footage ubiquitous, locals murmuring rethrust, outsiders dubbing him tyrant, tagging association page, urging ouster. Opposite, Cynthia Rowe perused her slate, lips compressed. "Dire, Harold," she grumbled. "Surveillance depicts you thrusting Janine, indefensible." Harold pounded palm on ledge. She incited, disdained publicly, and her mate, he halted, mandible clenching. That individual deems superiority via service, shan't dictate locale. Cynthia deposited slate. Harold, misconstrue, transcends protocols now. Appears persecution, prior grievances, now linked, claiming you singled Colson's for distinction from masses. His visage shadowed. Absurd. Perhaps, she ventured cautiously, yet view trumps fact presently. View adverse. Whilst Harold fumed domestically, Anthony cleansed the parking path with hose, endeavoring mental clarity. He discerned Harold sufficiently, such ego yields not humiliation meekly. Silently, Janine emerged, device in grasp. Anthony, behold. Harold's declaration posted. Anthony ceased flow, dried palms on cloth. Predict, victimizes self. Janine assented, displaying display. Harold penned extended entry in local forum, averring Janine aggressed, he self-guarded, Anthony coerced via service ploys. Anthony perused, mandible firming. Rewriting actuality. Then a summons from opposite, Colson. Ron Keller, elder local, reclined by postbox. Resist that figure, witness deed, backing you. Janine mustered faint grin, but Anthony's gaze keen, endorsement valuable, yet Harold retained association sway, and sway plus ego hazardous. That dusk, Colson's dined when fresh wrap arrived. Not lawman, Megan Ellis, youthful parent 2 abodes distant, device clutched anxiously. Deem you ought know, she voiced, scanning prior to softening, Harold canvassing thresholds, claims Anthony menaced, rallying for full ouster from association. Janine's utensil clanged plate. Oust us. For self-defense. Megan negated. Reject his tale, many do, yet loyalists persist, he wields alarm to cling. Anthony reclined on frame, limbs crossed. Gratitude, Megan, will address. Post-departure, Janine faced him, unceasing, Anthony, intensifying. Anthony peered streetward, serene yet scheming. Then ready for sequel. Readying arrived swifter than foreseen, duo eaves hence, Colson's entered parking post provisions. As Anthony offloaded parcels, Harold materialized curbside, bearing broad, timbre elevated, hero delusion, Colson. Strutting ownership. Anthony placed sack on vehicle roof. Merely male shielding kin, reconsider pre-contacting spouse. Harold neared, knuckles balled, 1 digit on me, arrested. Service passed, no commands. Janine, posterior to Anthony, extracted device, excellent, amplify, record. Harold's visage hesitated, yet ego propelled, terminated, I'll ensure. Anthony's timbre descended, resolute, incisive, depart, Harold, final. Road hushed save foliage whisper, then sequentially, portals unlatched. Locals ventured entryways, devices aloft anew, inescapable glare. Cynthia, shadowing, tugged sleeve, Harold, cease, filming, deepening pit. But Harold wrenched free, retorting Anthony. Ultimately, synth hauled rearward, hissing sufficeth, towing toward vehicle. Janine diminished device, palms quaking. Anthony resumed provisions, confrontation mere chore. Anthony, she breathed, orbs moist, endurance. He regarded steady, assured, till verity prevails. But verity disseminates not meekly, and by morrow, Metropolis would recognize their monikers. By first light, Colson's serene road appeared mundane anew, turf irrigated, misters clicking, youth awaiting transport. Yet subsurface, boundaries etched, locals once casual greeters now scrutinized warily. The nudge, footage, nocturnal yells, all splintered accord facade. Within Colson abode, Janine at banquet slab, perusing device, get constricting per remark. Some locals posted endorsements, solidarity Colson's, no merit such. But others echoed Harold, Janine lunged initial, or Anthony coerced via emergence. Anthony decanted brew, placing vessel afore, peruse not all, half absent. She elevated, orbs fatigued, some present, yet align him, why? Confessing verity admits overlooking Harold eras, Anthony voiced. Easier feign banner dispute than conduct. Device hummed, Gloria Martinez, 2 roads distant, alerted, association convenes urgent assembly tomorrow eve, prepare. Janine slammed device. Swift. Anthony assented. Us too. That dusk, Colson's promenade scout, passing domiciles, noted huddles murmuring subdued. Some waved brisk, others averted. At Bend, Anthony spied Don, Marcia Klein, pensioned duo since inception. Anthony. Don hailed, beckoning. Footage viewed, managed admirably. Marcia neared, softening, yet no, Harold circulates, you perilous, service renders unstable, alarming into snap fear. Anthony's mandible firmed, delivery even, perilous when requisite, shielding spouse love, not volatility. Marcia inclined modestly, orbs benevolent, credit you, not universal. Farther, divergent mood, Peter Lawson, midlife, Harold ally in disputes, hailed mockingly, Colson, drilling naval maneuvers locale. Anthony silent, but Janine halted, scowling, witnessed, Peter, his thrust. Peter shrugged, seemed scuffle, exaggeration violences. Janine's digits balled, but Anthony brushed arm, guiding. Unworthy, he breathed. Homeward, Janine collapsed settee, ire overflowing, incredulous lies persist post-visibility. Some defend. Anthony adjacent, delivery constant, folks grasp comfort, Harold dominated eras, confess error admits unchecked reign. Tough ingestion. Next eve, association assembly crammed communal hub akin tribunal spectacle, perch stools aligned, locals jammed, newshounds rearward, lenses primed. Ether vibrated expectancy. 4. Harold with Cynthia, duo others, visage taut, orbs flitting anxiously. Anthony, Janine ingress subdued, yet scrutiny trailed, murmurs cascaded, her, thrust recipient. Seal gent, composed. Chair Phyllis Grant, elder female, rapt mic, convened recent amid official, kin. Respect urged. Respect endured brief. Harold, precede, clarify, verbally, bodily assailed, self-defended, upheld norms. Jeers from portions, claps others. Janine ascended, delivery lucid, thrust driveway, banner refusal, not defense, battery. Inhales swept, some yelled, witnessed, others grumbled edicts. Anthony voiced serene, slicing din, transcends sign, power. Position permits contact. Abuse, persecution. Shan't tolerate, for spouse, none. Affirmation ignited cheers some, moans others. Harold's hue scarlet, unconcluded, he rasped, glaring Colson's. Anthony matched unflinching, accurate, not. But beyond chamber, tale burgeoned beyond enclave, by morn, transcended Plano.by Aurora subsequent, Colson's tranquil road in Plano pinpointed digital fury cartography. Shaky neighbor footage, disseminated, now excerpted, titled, recirculated afar Texas. Harold's thrust footage, Anthony's poised yet adamant aura, detonated social webs. Janine perused device at galley ledge, brew ignored, footage headline blogs, locals, association head filmed thrusting resident spouse. Ex-SEAL faces HOA tyrant. Each dissemination yielded remarks, endorsing. Contorted, vicious. Anthony reclined ledge, limbs folded, predict, views on us abound. Janine elevated, disbelieving, national, Anthony, Dallas outlet deems HOA dominance exemplar, reporter queries suburb race. Anthony's forehead creased, delivery serene, injustice citing links broader motifs. Device rang pre-response, daughter Shauna Colson, Austin educator. Janine loudspeaker, parents, well. Shauna's timbre constricted worry. Twitter footage pre-yours, colleagues chatter. Stable, Anthony voiced. Shauna paused, labeling Harold racist, targeted mom blackness. Motive. Query suspended dense, crude. Janine's palms quivered on vessel, uncertain, dear, yet unaltered from block females, unbothered prior. Anthony inclined once, orbs fixed Janine, name unnecessary, viewers infer. Post-call, Anthony exterior for air, finding newshound sidewalk, mic extended. Kelly Reeves, WFAA Dallas, Mr. Colson, comment yestereve. Footage prompt state queries HOA duty, race skew. Reply. Anthony measured, elementary, spouse battered driveway over sign, acted husband duty, shielded. Remainder, viewers judge verity. Segment broadcast dusk news, Colson's grasped irreturnable. Within association, alarm gripped. Harold and chamber, inbox inundated residents, outsiders, abdicate, abuse, ignominy. Cynthia rang sharp, step aside, Harold, ruining panel. Nay, Harold snapped. Quit admits fault, deny gratification. Colson manipulates totality. Harold, Cynthia urged, footage eloquent, you thrust, all viewed. But Harold unmoving, ego shield, refused doff amid fissures. Meanwhile, Anthony, Janine back veranda, cicada drone, ether dense yet still. Anthony, Janine breathed, uglier potential. Online pursuit. Visitor. Anthony. Clasped palm, grasp solid, confront united, unsought, yet destined perhaps, transcends duo. Devices hummed, endorsements afar, veterans lauding restraint, females recounting HOA tyranny, kin thanking illumination endured mute. Janine exhaled, frame lightning fraction, less isolated than sensed. Anthony eyed shadowed road, entry lamps akin sentinel spires. New Harold unfinished, association clung sway. Yet world observed, altered all. But virility yielded allies, foes. Colson's learned Harold's reclaim extent. Week's terminus, Colson's serene dead end resembled less home row, more beacon for beams, lenses, mics. Dallas, national rigs curbside, polite waivers now blinds peaked, background avoidant. Anthony porched on, limbs crossed, eyeing newshound cluster driveway end. Janine joined, vapor mug, persistent, she queried mild. Till tale concludes, Anthony replied. Harold ensures prolongation. Harold redoubled, viral duo post, local broadcast, victim true, enforcing norms, bodily menaced, combat past, safety doubt. Interview excerpts dispersed swift as footage, some embraced, dubbing Anthony hazardous, erratic, fuse. Colson's galley, Shauna post clip, flipping, implies assault imminent, dad. Anthony serene, truth absent rewrite. Janine's timbre fractured, allowed remarks, seal lockup worthy, locale peril, relocate. Device down, palms quaking, unknowing us. Side chosen, Anthony voiced. But Harold backers disseminated, larger surge repelled, Dallas editorial, associations shield locales, frequent abuse. National dawn slot, jurists dissecting footage sequential. CNN excerpt, counsel Lisa Sheridan, observe, pointing, Colson escalates not till Vance elevates palm anew, crucial, mastery, not assault. Harold tail footage contrast deepened schism, neutral. Locals compelled alignment. Market, Janine produce overheard females, her, drama instigator. Or resistor, belief dependent. That night, Anthony, Janine parlor opposed, TV sheen visages, anchors dissected existences show-like. And signed headline, Janine breathed. Anthony forward, elbows patelli, nor I. Perhaps transcend sign-up, refusal mute when simpler. Anthony's device, Wes anew. Kin, Harold contacts veteran circles, claims uniform disgrace via coercion. Anthony bridged nose, expected. Rally supporters. Wes proffered. Anthony pondered, not yet, lie fight drowns, verity amplify. Janine glimpsed, fatigued proud, ground holding sands blows, always. Exterior, fresh rig arrived, once hushed paths perception warzone, Harold unrelenting. But true strife not broadcast, web, association sequel public assembly, explosiveness unforeseen. Communal hub overflowed precommence, autos clogged lot, laggards curbside, news vans hummed, lenses poised. Within, perch stools grated as locals seized, tones anxious vibrant. Anthony, Janine ingress subdued, din pivoted instant. Some supportive nods, others breath mutters, devices angled covert, filming. For room, panel, Harold blazer rigid, Cynthia adjacent, duo others preferring elsewhere. Mic on slab, water ewer perspiring warmth. Phyllis Grant mic tapped, order called. Agenda, recent Vance Colson. Murmur low spread. Anthony clasped Janine's palm, firm squeeze pre-release. Harold mic leaned pre-Phyllis, timbre boomed, practiced acrid, clarify, norms enforced, Mrs. Colson aggressed, defended, not more. Jeers, shouts crowd echoed. Footage viewed, one bellowed. Janine ascended, stool grating loud, delivery potent chest quiver, thrust me, Harold, neighbors afore, home own. Defense. Assault term. Room inhales, newshounds elevated lenses. Harold mandible taut, distort, spouse yours, intimidated, loomed, restrained, aggression. Anthony ascended gradual, pitch unraised commanding, restrained post palm raise, absent, your sequel. Once thrust spouse sufficient. Quiet post query, stone pond plunk, crowd rippling. Rear, Ron Keller, all viewed, Harold, thrust deeming impunity, then victim play. Others, abuse fatigue, bullied eras. Harold hue deepened, brow sweat, calumny. Time, vigor contributed, your control. Janine interjected steady, board wielded intimidation, not service, scare speech via penalties, alerts, shame. Eyes neighbor turned, murmurs confessions, 3 mother, find kid bikes lawn overnight, twice. Elder male, tow threat dent truck, value dip. Room amplified per tale. Anthony neared panel slab, transcends sign, leadership confounds sway authority. Forgets edicts serve folk, not chastise. Cynthia fidgeted, spectacles adjusted, permit probe course. But Harold fist slammed, nay, railroaded not by falsehoods, spectacle. Anthony glare met, no railroad, abdicate here, now. Crowd detonated, claps, yells, din Phyllis gavel quelled, panel votes, immediate, Vance suspended probe pending. Utterance slapped Harold, he surged, digit pointing Anthony, victory delusion, unseen finale. Janine erect beside spouse, nay, Harold, locale viewed authentic you. As Harold raged exterior, lenses trailed, locals shock relief buzz. Panel shaken resigned, note scribbling fallout shield. Anthony arm draped Janine lightly, egress united, flashes, voices, tide turn weight, all pressed, yet unfaltering. But suspension initial fissure, accountability profundity commencing. Till respect oblivion. Here transpired. Respect foundational, non-optional. Words dense, doubters nodded, snared calm conviction unshouted audible. Panel voted, suspension eternal, seat void. Cynthia abdicated instant, storm unendurable. Enclave exhaled collective, tension dam break. Exterior, newshounds swarmed, mics thrust, Janine gripped Anthony overwhelmed, he steady guided throng. Home, parlor duo, scout foot curled, abode hushed finale, yet deed weight lingered. Concluded truly. Janine mild. Anthony reclined, ceiling gaze, Harold perhaps, enclave no, never one man. Unchecked sway refusal ends not vote, but gaze aversion. Janine faint grin, fatigue pride blend, initiated worth completion. Exterior, dead end hushed, lamps glowed, kid cycles driveways, mister's grass ticked. Initial weeks, near normal, near. But solace amid, Anthony knew strife lesson transcended Plano, share determined, tempest fractured finale, yet ether dense born. Era's post-removal, shove echo, utterances, tumble persisted enclave nooks. Existence normalized, refuse haulers, youth bike yells, turf mows, but subsurface shifted. Anthony back veranda eve, humid lone star cicada buzz, scout foot prone, Janine adjacent iced vessel. Initial long while, sat unbraced sequel. You know, Janine voiced soft steady, replay inception, silly sign mere. Anthony modest grin, never sign truly. Nay, she concurred, sway, deeming thrust, mute, impunity. Absent fight back, words faded, ponderous. Anthony palm squeezed gentle, fought, not blows, verity. Patience, and proven strength. Janine leaned, crown shoulder rest, pride us, not Harold stand, but locale show, all, intimidation yields not. Breeze soft tree rustled, fresh mow scent. Anthony lids closed moment, peace settle. But speech renewed, Waitman battlefields foreign, home, Navy eras drilled mastery, ploy, sway, but not prep deeper, spouse, hearth, worth shield. Strength force assumed, wrong, restraint, line hold knowledge, verity self-speech. Janine crown lifted, orbs met, enclave alter truly. Anthony pondered, slow nod, some affirm, others nay, but alteration not universal sync, seeds sequential. Perhaps local recalls next bully, viewer ponders mute stay. Sufficeth. Subsequent week, Colson's communal roast, backer hosted, mirth, melody air filled, youth sprinkler dash, dead end months initial united. Residents neared thanks, fear free showed, female voiced break, courage yearn prior. Anthony palm clasped gentle, courage unloud, mere refusal shove aside. Later night, stars lone star span, Anthony Janine porch anew, street lamp softer, less spires, more self-reclaimed guardians. Janine sighed, lip smile small, unsought, Anthony, yet destined perhaps, push back hours. Anthony horizon fixed, perhaps, or proves, ordinary day, minor spark, stand matters eternal. He turned, delivery constant deliberate, small wrongs slide growth to grand, home dignity absent, where stand. Janine palm clasped tight, united, always. And thus, sign spark strife concluded grander, lesson driveway to nationwide parlors spread, reminder, strength intimidation not, courage, power not, tenet. Anthony, Janine symbol unset, yet world examples elects, responsibility grace met. Thus story takeaway, fear mute shun, intimidation shrink deny, neighborhood, toil, hearth, dignity, verity, regard stand, for others strength find too.